Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Thursday, August 25th, 2016. And here are some of today's trends in the news. On the market front, everything is down, but just a little bit. And oil, boop, that's up a little bit. So, why are the markets doing what they're doing? Well, U.S. equities closed lower Thursday, today, a day ahead of a key speech from Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen. How many times do they have to repeat this? This is going on for over a week they've been saying this. You know what she's going to say in Jackson Hole tomorrow.
Warning, warning, bullshit alert.
That's all it's going to be. So why did oil prices go up? This is going to surprise you. CNBC. Oil prices rose nearly 1% on Thursday on expectations the dollar would weaken after Friday's, you ready? Key speech by U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen, making greenback-denominated commodities more attractive to holders of other currencies. Okay, so they're going to say they're not going to raise interest rates, right? And that's why the dollar's going to get weaker. So gold prices should have gone up. The whole game is rigged. You ready for this? I know this is going to come as a shock too, because you haven't heard this for the last 5 days either. Crude futures also rebounded on speculation that next month's informal meeting between Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries and other major producers could result in output curbs. There's not going to be any output curbs. There won't be any production freezes. And the other reason oil went up a little bit, hey, remember I was reading all those lousy numbers and the buildup of supply of oil? Well, a new report came out today. That changes nothing, but they'll make an excuse to rig the prices. Genscape showed a drawdown of more than 313,000 barrels at the Cushing, Oklahoma delivery point. It means absolutely nothing. Because today's Wall Street Journal, Business and Tech, oil firms binge on debt. Some of the world's largest energy companies are saddled with the highest debt levels ever as they struggle with low crude prices, raising worries about their ability to pay dividends and find new barrels of oil. So you see what they're doing. They're desperate. They will talk up oil prices as much as they can. And on the dividends are what matter now. Very important story. Many investors turn to high-yielding shares as interest rates slide. Many investors are now supplementing slumping fixed income payouts with high-yielding shares, a strategy some analysts warn could expose buyers to the risk of a large capital loss that could wipe out years of income. So you're investing in stocks to get a higher dividend because you can't get anything putting it in a savings account or bonds. But if the market crashes, you're wiped out. The risk appears particularly acute in part because earnings, historically the strongest driver of stock price gains, are in a retreat and valuations are above long-term averages. That's the PE ratio. Many companies are paying more in dividends than they are earning, a practice that analysts view as unsustainable for the long term. The correlation between the S&P 500 and the pair and the per share earnings of its companies fell to 0.55 at the end of June, the lowest since 2002. And look at the S&P earnings of these same 500. They're down for 5 consecutive quarters. So when this thing crashes, it's going to wipe out a lot of people. Again, the numbers don't lie, the liars do. And the liars are the markets, because there's nothing true about the price discovery. It's totally rigged. World trade falls for second quarter in a row. On a quarterly basis, world trade fell 0.8%, contracting for the second quarter in a row, according to CPB Netherlands Bureau for Economic Policy Analysis. And our country here is rotting. The candidates are all talking about the rotted infrastructure. It's for real. Road funding gap hurts local drivers. Yeah, go down and drive in New York City, man. Yeah, you pay rents and to own something through the roof, and you're driving in a third world country. The roads are so ripped up. According to the Department of Transportation assessments, some 35% of non-interstate urban roads are in poor condition. 35%. And that means the other ones are in lousy condition. And some are in good condition. But excellent doesn't count anymore. And excellent doesn't count in this country at a lot of different levels. Because we're getting dumber by the day and spending more money to become stupid. I'm tired of these school taxes that they're ripping us off with. They're producing morons. Hey, that's not a judgment or an opinion. It's a fact. Here we go. College readiness scores disappoint. The percentage of 2016 graduates who met college readiness benchmarks in English, reading, math, and science, you ready? Fell to 26% from 28% last year. 26%. The number that met benchmarks in 3 areas remained flat at 12%, but those who failed to meet any of the benchmarks rose from 34% to 31%. We're educating garbage. That's all it is. The system stinks. It's as failed as any other government system, from the Pentagon down. And I know there's those folks that like to salute and wear them uniforms with the medals. You guys haven't won a war since World War II, but we got a plan this time. Oh, yeah. To murder more and lose more. Oh, talking about losing more? Here's something for you. The U.S. government has shipped over 1.4 million guns to Iraq and Afghanistan since 9/11. Isn't that great, huh? Yeah, the roads stink, but boy, they got money to ship guns. But it gets better. The losers. We have losers running the nation. The fish rots from the head down, man. And it's rotting all the way down to the local levels. The schools stink, the government stinks. Local administration to the top of the perch. A bunch of politicians with bad attitudes and to tell you how to run your life. According to a new analysis by the UK-based watchdog, AOAV, the Pentagon is able to account for fewer than half of them. Hey, they still can't find that $6 trillion that Rumsfeld was talking about, or $3 trillion that they can't find. That was back, 14 years ago. It's a losing nation. Again, Clinton and Trump, we're getting clumped. Homebuyers hesitate as prices remain high. Yeah, hesitate because the jobs stink and the economy's lousy and only the rich are getting richer. You know the numbers. 95% of the wealth went to the 1% since Obama came into office. And worldwide, 62 people have more money than half the world's population. Sales of previously owned homes slipped in July, a sign that higher prices are taking a bite out of the U.S. housing market. The pace of existing home sales decreased 3.2% last month from June. Compared with a year earlier, July sales were down 1.6%. The pace remains near post-recession highs. However, some of the country's hottest markets are showing more dramatic signs of slowing. Sales of single-family homes and condominiums in California were down 13%. In San Francisco, home prices tumbled 10% in the first half of this year. And sales are at their slowest first half since 2008. Again, young people can't afford to buy homes, and everybody else is being priced out of them, except the top. States approve steep health care premiums. Tennessee, up 62%. Mississippi, up 43%. Kentucky, up 23%. Obamacare? Yeah. Obama, I don't care. A total failure and a mass murderer. U.S. drone strikes kill 7 in Yemen. But you know who the 7 were? Quote, suspects. Hey, that's good enough for me. I'm the President of the United States. I'll kill whoever I want. And I don't need any judge or jury to tell me what to do. Officials are saying they believe the U.S. drone strikes killed 7 members of Al-Qaeda. Though who they were is totally unclear, and security officials are just labeling them all suspects. Isn't that wonderful? Morality, it doesn't count in America. It's gone. Finding work proves harder for world's youth. Global youth unemployment has started to worsen. After 3 years of modest improvement, the number of unemployed 15 to 24-year-olds in the world is set to swell up to 71 million, according to the International Labor Organization. We have wars to fight, people to kill, and money to steal to give to our friends. Turkey, U.S. join rebel assault in Syria. Bombs away in Yemen. U.S. joins rebel assault in Syria. Turkey is invading its neighboring country. America is involved in another war, and no one is talking about it. The immorality of this, not to mention the unconstitutionality of it. But why should I talk about the Constitution? They ripped it up a long time ago. Bill of Rights, you have no rights. And then finally, on the presidential reality show, Trump's goal, stay on script about Clinton. Read your Trends Monthly and the piece that I wrote about Trump. This verifies it. I've been staying on message now because ultimately I'm finding that I do better with voters, do better in the polls when I'm on message, Trump said in a telephone interview on Tuesday. Then he went on to say, ultimately I say what I want to. This is my way. I had 80 days at the time, and I wanted to do it my way. I'll do it my way. Again, and then there's Clinton stuff coming out with a pay to play. It's real. And Assange he's announcing he's going to be sending more information out about her. Now let's put this into context. All this campaign is name-calling and accusations, from Crooked Hillary being crooked to Donald Trump shooting off his mouth and saying stupid things. Nothing about real issues. Yes, he gives broad things about trade and other issues on the Trump side, but then he goes off about war and how he's going to wipe out ISIS. No one speaks about peace. Peace is a dirty word. And so is clumped. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.